Let's see. The next, Mr. Ingram, there in the back. Got a new haircut, looking fancy. Mr. Ingram, Executive Director of the Delta Conservancy.
Thank you very much. So I've been to Stockton and back since we started this topic, so I'm glad I was able to get back in time to provide some comments. So I've provided comments for the council, more detailed comments. I'll try to be very brief. I've also provided a list of comments that we provided back in September on the DPC's Economic Sustainability Plan for your review as well. The point of those comments were our concerns about a lack of any mention of the Delta Conservancy within the DPC, recognizing the potential overlap in our roles and the required coordination per our legislation. We thought that that was an oversight that we were concerned about and wanted to bring to their attention. We were disappointed when we saw this document come out, the proposal, and recognized that, again, it just is absent any discussion of the Conservancy, our role, the overlapping roles with the DPC. So we wanted to bring that to your attention. In our view, quite a bit of what is proposed in there is a fair amount of redundancy or overlap in what they propose for themselves and what we think the legislature envisioned for the Delta Conservancy. That's obviously fine, but we certainly think there's a need for some significant coordination to define those roles. Given that the new proposal ignores our previous comments, we just, again, want to register the concern that we don't feel like we're being coordinated or and we need to increase that. We do find it particularly troublesome given that it's our belief that probably one of the fastest ways for the administration and the state to further erode credibility in the Delta is to have two state agencies working at similar purposes but obviously not well coordinated. We are currently out in the Delta working to do our strategic plan. We've met with the county supervisors and their key staffs, the 5 county farm bureau, all the ag commissioners for the Delta counties, as well as multiple groups, and had several public meetings, the intent of which is to get feedback from the community on what the Conservancy's role ought to be in the Delta. How can we be a partner to people in the Delta for ecosystem restoration and economic development? We anticipate having a draft of that document out and available by the end of this month, and we would welcome the opportunity to bring that to the council and give you a presentation and an overview of where we've been, the feedback we've been getting, and what our strategic plan will look like. In closing, I would just like to say that, given that our mandates and those of the DPC have commonalities, we suggest that the council, the DPC, and we all work together to develop a shared understanding of what our roles ought to be and how we can achieve those objectives in a complementary and coordinated fashion. Thank you very much.
Okay, thank you very much, Mr. Ingram.